Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brian at WhisperStatus74. Welcome to the community. Welcome to the channel. If this is the first time you are seeing me, please consider liking and subscribing. We are Real Tech for Real People. Today's video is going to be a quick comparison of the Samsung Q900R. It is a 2019-2020 8K full array local dimming LED from Samsung. We have it in its natural preset, and it's going to go against the LGCX. I've had the Samsung Q900R for a few months. It's on loan from Value Electronics. There's not a lot of interest in it, but it did carry over from 2019. It was their top of the line display then, and it was carried over as it is 55 inches. It is below the LGCX. It's in its natural preset, which I found to be the most realistic while also being the most punchy. Cinema is definitely the go-to for movies, obviously, but in comparison to the LGCX's cinema, it just did not look vibrant enough, and I didn't want to cheat here and then go in and take away its vibrancy to make it look natural. I do want Samsung to look like a Samsung. There it is in dynamic. Standard's very dark, so we're going to keep it at natural. And the LGCX, which we have at the top, is going to be on standard to also compete with it in terms of its vibrancy. I can go into the cinema mode, but I want to keep them as like for like as I can. We'll run a few demos and see how they look. Not always easy to get these like for like, as we're not using a splitter. We're just going through their onboard apps. What's interesting about comparing different technologies is if you notice that the LG, the high contrast ratio does give it the look of peak brightness that isn't there versus the one of the brightest LEDs that year from Samsung. Now, I believe the Q90R was a bit brighter due to the extra pixels of the 8K 900R. But the 900R was the flagship and again was carried over. Now you're seeing them on top of each other like this as side by side is a little hard to do in the environment now that everybody's working from home and kids are home from school. It takes up a lot of space to do 55 on each side. So this is the best I can do for right now. The CX is a little further back, but they are the same size. The Q900R has an excellent black level in spots. It's fully been updated. Had some blooming at launch. It does have some blooming anyway. It is an LED. But there is a very vibrant aspect to it. Now, I've had the panel, again, for a few months. Special thank you to Robert and Wendy Zahn of Value Electronics. I shot a couple videos on it. There wasn't a lot of interest. But doing comparisons were honestly hard because I could not get the best out of the Samsung in terms of its settings. Having it in natural was a vibrant go-between. It's very hard to compare different panels from different manufacturers. But in this demo here, they do look so similar. It is full screen. The Q900R is very bright. It does show you also how the CX can look brighter than it is. We are also in a dark room. I will be trying to do these tests again in daylight when there's nobody home upstairs and see how it compares. I know that the Q900R has an excellent reflection handling. This is just a quick video. It should be in HDR for you. This demo is on the HDR channel. I'll link that below. Special thank you to them. They have amazing content. One of my favorite demos. Now you can make both look more vibrant with contrast enhancer, things of that nature. They are pretty much in their preset of natural versus standard. Live color, extra color is disabled on both. Now, my time with the Q900R, I haven't noticed much other than when gaming, that things look cleaner with 8K. So on gaming, it does have that appearance of being very clean, almost like a monitor. That's where I think the 8K really helps this panel. Obviously, I do have a couple 8K demos I can run. We'll see how those show up. Again, is it really worth having an 8K panel at 55 inches? I would say if you're sitting very close to it as a monitor, I could see where its strengths are. That blooming is the camera really struggles with this demo. And also the aperture is left at its own natural. It'll fluctuate. I don't want to turn one up and turn one down. The camera does struggle with these demos. Now this is a Samsung demo itself. I love this demo. It runs really quickly. The LG is going to look cooler. It is in standard. The white balance is not going to be able to be controlled in that preset. And this is just a quick video. But it's very interesting to see how they trade blows, where the black level really helps the LG in certain scenes, and then does hurt the Samsung in certain scenes, and vice versa, where you would need the peak brightness and specular highlights with explosions, things of that nature. It is interesting how they look so different, but can look so the same. Looking forward to getting some 2021 models in here. Those would be on loan from Value Electronics. We don't buy TVs here and return them just for YouTube. Check out Value Electronics in the description below, and please consider making your next AV purchase through them. Very kind of them to loan me, again, a flagship. And this will rewind through the whole thing. What's ironic is this is actually the demo I would see mostly when the Q900R released. You'll see bees like in a honeycomb. And that's, yeah, right here. This is what I would mostly see in store for the Q900R. I want to say this TV at 80 something inches was $15,000 at launch, which is crazy. This video will be about 11 minutes long. They're usually pretty short, but you should be able to see this in HDR. And we'll do a couple more comparisons today, and we'll fire them off back to back to back. Now again, 8K, as much as it's going forward, I personally don't see the need for it just yet. I would say the clarity I see on the Samsung versus the CX is primarily due to the peak brightness more than the pixels, or added pixels, I should say. And again, the LG is cooler, again, because it's in standard. Which has more pop as well. Now, it seems like we just saw there's times where I feel like that will hurt, like right there. It does, you do lose a little detail in that peak brightness. Now, in closing, I want to stay with this image really quickly here. And we'll come off the tripod quickly. Is you can actually see how nice the image is on both. slide back. Whoa. It is gorgeous on both. You can see the brightness of the Samsung and the depth of the CX. All right, guys, that's a quick comparison. Thank you as always, and I'll see you in the comments. Take care.